Hi everyone, Rebecca B here for Hip Kit Club, and today I am making a layout using the main kit only. And so as I have not yet used my main kit, I thought I'd just quickly flick through what is included in the main kit. So you can see that all on screen, that is what is included in the main kit. This month it is a completely Hip Kit exclusive collection called Wild and Free. So it's kind of a cowboy theme, Western themed collection. And I'm loving all the sort of terracottas and oranges and pinks that are included in the colours of this collection. Super, super pretty. And look at those gorgeous papers, completely exclusive to Hip Kit Club. So from those papers I've selected the Desert Sunset paper and the Wild Thang paper for today's layout, and I'm going to create kind of a framed layout. So I'm creating a frame using that striped Desert Sunset paper because I wanted quite a little bit of colour all around the edge of my design, and I've used that teal coloured paper which is the Adventure Calls paper, and I just used one of my scallop edge punches, pardon me, to punch some strips of scalloped edging, which is going to kind of like peek out from the edge of my frame. So what you can see on screen there is I am using just some tissue paper and sort of creating little ruffles in the tissue paper to add some texture behind my frame that I've created, and I've popped those up on some adhesive foam pads to get a bit of dimension as well. So in the main kit this month there is a pack of 35 fabric die cuts in the shape of kind of like pennant flags or bunting, and I've decided to create a layout really kind of focusing on those little pieces of die cuts, those fabric die cuts. They're such fun patterns as well, and I love the colours. So I'm just using a piece of embroidery floss and creating a string of bunting using those fabric die cuts, and I'm going to adhere them to themselves using some red line tape just to kind of like stick them down on top of themselves. And I'm going to speed up my process just a little bit because you can see there that it's pretty simple what I'm doing. I'm going to create two of those strings of bunting with those fabric die cuts. Some of them are sort of diamond shape, which I've used to kind of like fold over onto themselves, and some of them in that pack are triangular, so some of them won't need to be folded like that. And on the reverse of my frame I'm adding some more strips of 3D adhesive foam on top of that tissue paper, and I'm going to then add my punched border strips, the blue ones, using the Adventure Calls paper, and that's just kind of peek around the edge of the tissue paper, just to give another little hint of colour and a different shape and sort of texture that's going on in the background of my little frame shape. So really fun and quirky theme to the kit this month, and I really love the colours. I think they're so pretty together, those oranges and sort of like teal colours. But you know, coming from the UK, it's not really cowboy country. So you know, there's lots of other things that you could scrap apart from just sort of being literal to that theme. So the stickers in the main kit, I feel like they'd be really good to scrap sort of little toddler photos, you know, like tearaway kid photographs. Wild and Happy is one of the stickers on that main sheet. And I feel like that would be really good for those little sort of messy kids, you know, messy play photographs. And on that sheet is a Besties sticker. So that is kind of what I've focused on for this layout. So I've kind of gone with that Besties theme, and I've scrapped a photo of seeing my best friend for the first time in 4 years. So she lives in Australia, and so I finally scrapped a photo of us back together, and yeah, focused on that Besties sticker. Okay, so I am adhering my bunting strips to the back of the frame that I've created. I do only stick 2 on at this point, but I really wish that I had stuck the 3rd on in this same way, because once I'd turned it over I decided I wanted another strip of bunting. 2 wasn't enough, so I would have put that on at this point as well had I decided that I wanted that on my design at this point. So I've decided to adhere my little bunting flags down with a little bit of foam. When they were loose, they kind of moved around too much, and I wanted to be able to sort of put them in a, you know, eye-pleasing design. So I have stuck those down with a little bit of foam, and now I'm going to add my photograph, and again I'm going to add that with adhesive foam as well. And once that's stuck down, I'm going to add some of those remaining little triangular shaped bunting pieces or fabric die cuts to that third string, just to create another strip of that sort of bunting effect. So now I'm going to try and disguise the edges of that piece of thread because I'd wish that I'd stuck them down the same way as I had the other two. So I'm just going to kind of tuck those underneath with a little spot of glue to hold that string in place. And then I'm going to start getting my title together, which is going to be together again, using the alphas that come in the main kit. They're kind of really stylised, a bit like a wanted poster, you know, from an old Western. So I thought they were really cool, and I love that sort of colour. It adds a bit of contrast into those paler oranges. So kind of decide where I'm going to put my title. I move it about a few times, and I decide to kind of like follow the line of the bunting to have it sort of resting on there. Finally, I'm going to create a little cluster down at the bottom using the Besties thicker that comes on the sticker sheet in the main kit, and I've just added a couple of layers of the ephemera pieces behind that just to give a bit of dimension and add some more of those colours in behind that little Besties piece. Then I'm going to add some faux stitching using my white jelly pen, and then there are some close-ups coming now. I've added some white splatters off screen, but here you can see what I have done. Thank you so much for joining me. This was Rebecca B for Hip Kit Club.